Welcome back to my channel Iraqi Dinar. Here's the Iraq axis. The Economist, factions are no longer sacrificing themselves for Tehran. Iran is losing the Iraq axis. The Economist. Factions are no longer sacrificing themselves for Tehran. Shafaq News. Baghdad at Tehran. A British report confirmed that the Iranian regime's hegemony over Iraq is declining, pointing to the Iraqi government's avoidance of involvement in the 12-day war between Iran and Israel. It also provided evidence of Tehran's declining influence and credibility among Iraqis. A report by the British magazine, The Economist, reviewed by Shafaq News Agency, highlighted three main reasons for the decline of Iranian influence in Iraq, the most important of which is the emergence of a new generation of politicians in Iraq, who emerged from the anti-government protests of 2020 and opposed the Iranian-backed militias more vocally than before. According to the report, following the killing of Qasem Soleimani, commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force, in January 2020, Iran's control over the militias and proxy groups it supports in Iraq has diminished, with many of them shifting their focus to internal Iraqi affairs. The Economist magazine quoted a senior Iraqi official as saying that Ismail Qani, Soleimani's successor and current commander of the Quds Force, does not possess Soleimani's skill in managing the conflicting interests of Iraq's various factions. The report pointed to another factor cited as contributing to the decline of the Iranian regime's influence in Iraq: the transformation of militias into political forces and their dissolution into the Iraqi bureaucracy and economy. He explained that Iran, in order to expand and deepen its influence in Iraq, paved the way for militia members to enter the Iraqi political and economic system. Currently, members of these groups have extensive economic interests and control important ministries, including those related to oil and mineral exports. Until recently, they even wielded significant influence within Iraq's Supreme Court. According to The Economist, according to the report, former members of Iran-affiliated groups, who are now wealthy political forces in the Iraqi government and economy, unlike in the past, have much to lose if their country enters into a war with the United States or Israel. Which is why they are increasingly angry about Iraq's role as a client state of the Iranian government. Based on this evidence, The Economist report concluded that the weakness of the meaning of resistance became apparent during Iran's war with Israel and the United States, when even the Iranian government's closest allies in Iraq offered little assistance to the Islamic Republic for fear of retaliation from the United States or Israel. Hey, welcome back to my channel Iraqi Dinar. The Central Bank of Iraq. Clarification regarding the local card launched by the Central Bank of Iraq. An informed source revealed on Monday details about the local card project that was announced Central Bank of Iraq recently. The source said to Al Shumaria News, local card means a system of payment cards in Iraqi dinars that is Central Bank of Iraq responsible for it and monitoring it. And it operates on simple commissions, given that all its operations take place within the country and in dinars and do not pass through international networks such as Visa and MasterCard. We can liken this to the issue of conducting calls local with its usual fees. But when we go outside the country, we bear the roaming fees. And therefore any bank or payment company in Iraq, according to the new mechanism, customers can be issued a local card, and the customer can also take another card linked to Visa and MasterCard to use outside the country. Therefore, the issue of creating a local card and what is said about it that there is a final isolation from Visa and Master is not true. The evidence is that any Western or Arab citizen. Now, one of the advantages is that it operates in dinars only, and that any transaction in dollars or other foreign currency will continue to pass through the usual international channels. Iraq is cooperating with international companies to build the technical infrastructure. The central bank already has an advanced national switch built through global partnerships, and the national scheme will operate on top of the same infrastructure with strict adherence to EMVCO, ISO, and PCI standards. That is, cooperation with global companies. It is ongoing. And it does not cancel the adoption of a local national brand for paying salaries or government collection operations and reducing reliance on cash. He said, considering that the project has developmental goals and is part of the reforms to reduce reliance on cash, support the electronic localization of salaries, and increase transparency, not to close commercial doors. Iraq does not choose isolation, but rather chooses to diversify payment channels, protect pure local dinar transaction data from external pressures, and establish an infrastructure that can be integrated and not separated from the world. Since 2020, it has been seeking US to control dollar flows and reduce non-compliance. Adopting a national scheme in dinars only enables regulatory authorities to set compliance rules tailored to local transactions in accordance with international best practices, without subjecting them to dollar transaction restrictions. This enhances internal transparency and spares the banking system the burden of controls that do not apply to dinar movement. Many countries, such as Saudi Arabia, MADA, India, Rupee, Singapore, NETS, and other countries have implemented successful national schemes that are integrated with international networks.